joining you this evening in our new podcast studio, created just for you, located in a secret underground bunker.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Rob.
Thank you, Tony, in Exeter. Everybody knows the mainstream parties are destroying our great land. The charm of Exeter is no more. House overbuilding is rife. Polluting cars are running around like crazy. All of our hotels, well, not all of our hotels, but gradually, one by one, they're being occupied by people that are not from Exeter, that's for sure, not even from this country sometimes. Got graffiti that's out of control, and, Tony, dare I say weeds?
Weeds, yes, very good.
We need a reform of our politicians, replacing them with fresh local voices bent on restoring our great city and county. That's the only answer. So tonight we're going to talk about what... thank you, Mr.
Thank you, a bit late, but yeah.
So tonight we're going to talk about what they've done and what our great councillors and our guests are doing to fix this problem. Again, we have Neil here, who's a councillor from the Alphington County branch, I think, or division.
That's
right?
correct. District,
I almost forgot that.
Yeah, it's
And
district.
then Tony, you're from...
St Thomas and Exwick District.
Fantastic if you pass the test. And then
Thank
we
you.
have James Fry, who's a branch chair from the Honiton and Sidmouth branch of Exeter Reform, or of Reform Party. Thanks very much. So tonight you're going to be amazed, shocked, and riveted to your seats throughout the show. And don't forget to ask questions on Facebook if you'd like. And if you're doing it on YouTube, you can do the same thing. And if you're on YouTube also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notify, where you get notified every week of the episodes as they arise. So tell your friends, spread the word, and don't forget to join the Reform Party and be part of the fun, particularly in the Exeter branch, James. And if you're out in Honiton and Sidmouth, well, join James' branch as well while you're at it. So here we go. Awesome, thank you so much.
What a crowd, yeah.
Anyway, enough said. Okay, chill out, okay? So let's hear a little bit about our great guest. Again, James is the chair of the Honiton and Sidmouth Reform Branch, a great man. James, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as I say, my name's James Fry. I live over in Honiton. I've lived over in the area for nearly 10 years now, originally from Dawlish, but things have been going interesting over there. Recently got married in June. Looking at now starting a family and hopefully going to be buying a house. So expensive times, if it wasn't even more with current affairs.
And you're still happy, are you?
Well,
How long have you been married, James? Huh?
Just over a month. So it was in June we got married. It's been a busy year. Changed job as well in December. So it's been, busy.
That's great. What kind of career do you have?
So I'm currently a property surveyor and occasional site manager.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. Okay, so without further ado, let's dig in and see what these guys have actually been doing. I know they're pretty faces, right, Tony? But
Not just a pretty face, there, Rob.
we have to know whether or not you've been actually doing something. Okay, so over to you, Neil.
Yep, good evening, guys. Hopefully the volume's sorted out this week. We are still teething. We're still having a problem. And hopefully today it's sorted. So basically, a lot of things are going on in the background. And you don't realise what's happening. But to update everybody, remember Grace Road, the heat pump? The project, I've sent a letter away to the Ombudsman to investigate the actual what's going on, because I haven't been happy with what Exeter City Council has been delivering to us. I've written to DCC to ask for work permits in the background. I've asked for ECC to provide information relating to planning investigations. The investigation by my team is in full swing. All right, so my team includes auditors and procurement experts. So I'm basically not happy with Grace Road and this heat source pump. All right, and the reason I'm not happy, it's greenwashing, as I've already said about it. There's bats there. It's a flood area. It was a green belt. They're looking at building on that area. You know, there was 19 other sites. I've not heard of the other sites. Nobody seems to tell us what the other sites are. All right. But we also know that at the top of the tree, there's 18 people who own the top company. All right. We spread it down to 8 other companies. We also know it's going on all over the country. All right. We also know there's a lot of money, a lot of grant money being given to this company. Right. It's feeding the hospital. Everybody says that's a good idea, but we own the hospital. It'd be coming out of your money.
Neil, can I add to that a little bit?
Yes, you may.
Because if you remember, me and Tony went to the planning meeting at the council in early August, where they reviewed the planning application from One Energy for the energy facility. And people are focused on the planning application, but surely our elected officials should be questioning, okay, well, why do we have it here in the first place? And one of the councillors from Labour, quite frankly, asked 3 questions, and they were all about the same. I'll tell you, one of the questions was, do you have BAT facilities in your design? So that's the level of scrutiny we have, spending £220 million of the taxpayers' money. Right?
Yeah, I'm not happy with all of it, and I've wrote to the chairman of planning, Exeter City Council, and by the way, I'm still waiting for your reply. If you could kindly give me your reply, but it's being pushed in other directions anyway. So that's one thing. Stagecoach. One of my biggest concerns is Stagecoach. I'm still getting a lot of emails of the unreliability, not just in my area, your area.
No,
Tony.
it's the same for my area as well. And I found when I was knocking on the doors, that was one of the main points about how bad the bus service is in our area.
Do you have Stagecoach out your way, James?
We've got a couple of minor bus services it's very rural, although we are also investigating bus services at the moment, as between 2 of the major market towns in my constituency, there's only 1 bus that runs a week. For a place that's 20 minutes up the road.
Dreadful if you miss that bus.
Yeah, as we're new at this, guys, bring your mic down. We want to see your face, not the microphone. Look.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
I'm just too embarrassed.
Yeah, so it's not rehearsed, by the way. We go out live, so if we do make mistakes, that's
Tell
the
me
way
if you
it
want
is.
it down further. Like, there you go.
Yeah. So going back to Stagecoach, so I've got a good relationship with Peter, the main man of the Southwest Cornwall, but we're looking into and checking the audit side of it, because Devon County Council pay them a lot of money, and we're just
not getting the service.
What they're getting paid for and what they're delivering. Now, we're not trying to ruin Stagecoach or bring anything bad against them. It's just we need to sit in front of them and say, this is what you're getting paid for, what's going wrong. Now, we're all in big people, so we've got to remember, and this is defending Stagecoach now, we have major roadworks down Ross Barton. We've got roadworks in Alphington Road. We've got gas pipe, water pipes going in. And that's happening all over the city. So we got to give Stagecoach a little bit of slack as well. Mm-hmm. All right. And this should get better.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, actually, because you've got to think with the heat port, we don't really want to talk about the pipes. Apparently, there's going to be at least 10 years worth of disruptions. But can we wait 10 years for Stagecoach to keep coming back with that excuse?
Yeah, no, it's just interesting that, I'm trying to sit on both sides of the fence. I have to investigate, and I've got a team investigating that right now. Also this week, we've just had our second Reform Council meeting. That was held at Devon County Council yesterday in the evening. 12 of the 17 members turned up. Very productive. It was the first time we've actually got together since we've been elected, and we've all agreed to do a monthly round. Why? Right, we're going to have an agenda, but what we want to do is focus on reform. We want to be looking at all the different branches like James. We want to support them. We want them to support us, but also to get the word out. Reform are here. We're here to stay.
Yeah, and you want to act everybody wants to act as a team.
Yeah,
right. You don't want to have one person saying, "Oh my gosh, I support free school meals" or whatever, and then another person doesn't. That's a great thing. You guys are meeting.
Yeah, so it's new. We've got a lot on our plate, but we have, going back to why we're here, is just to inform all of you what is actually going on. Okay, next thing is September the 4th, which is the next council large meeting where all the councillors turn up. I did say I put some motions in. There's 10 motions altogether. I didn't put all 10 in, by the way. Yeah.
And Neil, do various parties put in motions, or what?
Yeah, we're
tell us
learning.
about
So
what a motion
as
is,
what I
actually.
presume last time is a party puts a motion together.
Well,
but
last
we
time,
worked
of course,
as a
it was
hive.
Swift boxes, remember?
Yeah, the Swift boxes.
Well,
yeah.
that was
Very
the first motion.
That
the
was the
council
first
had, right?
motion that we had to vote
Yeah.
on, which, of course, is very important.
Yeah, but going back to it, so I think we are different to the normal parties because we act as a thing called a hive. We all work together, but we all have our own mission. So I've submitted 4 motions in. Okay, Ronnie, I'll give you a ring later on. Ronnie started the first one, so I can't take any credit. Okay, and basically it's removing food waste from mandatory, through mandatory completed by DCC planning, and I got that wrong. Removing food waste through mandatory. So I want to change the law. So food waste from supermarkets, farms, and hospitality. As I said to you last week, the French changed the law. Ronnie gave me the inspiration and the direction. So she's the one. So that's one motion to change the law on that.
And what do you do with the food waste? Well, you say it's food waste, but what?
Well, there
the
is
excess food, I guess. Right?
some supermarkets are very good. Some supermarkets donate certain food. There's a very interesting subject we will come on, but there's a lot of food waste in the hospitality. There's a lot of food waste in farms. So if we can change it, like the French did, that it's against the law to throw edible food away. A big discussion I've had with Ronnie is the sell-by date. Now, a lot of people will come back and say, well, the sell-by date, there's for a reason.
Is Ronnie a man, or what does Ronnie mean?
Ronnie is a lady. She's keeps us identity
Oh, okay. I
to
thought it was an
herself.
abbreviation for a sell-by date.
No. But her discussion
I'm not
was,
paying
and I like the feedback on, you have a sell-by date, and the sell-by date is there for a reason, because if the supermarket gives you that after sell-by date, they are liable if somebody was ill. That's quite straightforward.
So it's really not food waste, but food that could go to waste, and many times does, I guess.
Yeah, but
and
she
so that's
put
the
a-
reason for the motion?
She put another thing in saying, if I buy that food at 5 to 12
Yeah,
and it goes out of date by midnight,
yeah,
and I put it in a fridge or a freezer,
exactly. That's
surely
what
I
do.
should better give it to people in the morning.
Sure.
So it's an angle we're going to look at.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't want to be going on that. Okay, I don't want to go on too much, but pavement vegetation,
We got
biggest
time.
thing.
Go ahead.
We got time. Pavement vegetation. I've asked for funding to get rid of these.
You
does
don't
that
mean
mean?
Damn
weeds, do you?
weeds.
Is that another word for weeds?
Well, what's your problem? Do you have weeds, James, in your area?
I mean, I think every area's got weeds at the moment, don't they?
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
do they
you
have
tell me,
weeds
I've
like you
been-
do in our areas?
well, we've got slightly less in our lofts. But no, I think.
I mean, the competition is sort of open to more areas than just ours.
But you're saying that. I mean, what is it? What? How bad is it?
Out where we live, and I'm sure the same in most of the other rural areas at the moment, the council are pushing this idea of letting vegetation grow in areas and calling it sort of nature.
Nature,
You know,
well,
whilst that is true for some
reclaiming
areas,
nature, isn't it? Really?
really a lot of these areas are being left to grow purely because they don't want to spend out the money to cut them back. So, I mean, I'm sure you get a bit of that in Exeter.
Yeah, I
as
mean,
well.
a bit of that, we get all of it. So they're cut 2-3 foot in and leave the rest.
Yeah.
All right. All right. The I'm a nature man. I love animals, but it's an eyesore.
Oh.
This is a cathedral city. You got a lovely town where you are.
I wish I had the grass mowing contract. If somebody come up and said, "Hey, Tony, you only have to cut it back,
Yeah, just got
3
to cut a
feet
couple
around,"
of feet
eh?
in, and
say,
that's
"Hey,
it.
quid's
Off we
in,"
go.
right?
Well, yeah, but
Where's the
the
money
more you
going?
dig into it, they basically Devon County Council stopped the funding to Exeter City Council, so Exeter City Council stopped.
I gotcha.
But interesting what you say
Thank
about
you.
the weeds, because we've been dishing out weed killer, which Tony will announce. Right, Tony?
I did actually win this week, surprisingly enough.
Whoa.
It was
stay
one
tuned
that
to the end. Stay to
once-
the end. Yeah.
once-
No,
the
but
picture
the
was
reason
in.
I brought that subject up, we've had a few people saying you shouldn't be using weed killer. Okay, we've got one people on this side, one people on that side. Well, I use weed killer, and it gets very
Well, there's environmentally safe weed killer, which is what I have.
I
Yeah,
just think
very
you
good.
use the
I don't
cheapest.
want to be sanctimonious.
Well, so from
about
now
it,
on,
but
we will all
Yeah.
give out whoever wins
And you know what?
environmentally.
it
good.
wasn't any difference in price.
All right, so
So,
we'll do that. It's
yeah.
good, thank you.
Really good.
And do you want to give some weed killer
Okay.
for you, James?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, please. Do that.
See if you can get one.
Okay, moving on, Neil. You got the
Okay,
ADHD.
yeah. So Tackling ADHD. So I'm going to hand that with Tony. Tony's going to do it because Tony.
I've sort of, one of my children did actually get diagnosed with ADHD at a very young age, and I do know the problems, along with my wife, as getting him diagnosed and the problems we went through and the amount of work my wife did to get him diagnosed and the benefits that came once he was diagnosed. So it's something close to my heart, that. I will add he has grown up and he's still on the tablets, but it did make a difference and he did manage to go to university. So it just shows you what you
he's
can do.
a scientist now, isn't he?
I don't like to talk about it.
So
He's cleverer than me. I don't want to talk about that part.
So we were approached by one of the constituents saying that she's got a son. She needs the son to be diagnosed. He's just about starting his exams, and it's happened to more than one person apparently, and it's a 2-year waiting list. So we need to pass a law to try and change this system because there's a lot of young children out there who need help.
Thank you very much. Okay, Neil, let's just race through these because you're taking up all the time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that because all these all
Yeah.
these motions.
But
I'm
is his
forward.
face on the front of it?
Come on, okay. So are you done, Neil? Or what,
Yeah, well, I've got other things we've been doing, but I don't want to hog the light.
Okay.
And James is here,
Yeah.
the guest, and I want to hear
All
more
right, so
about James.
over to Tony. Well, first let's hear
After
from your
Tony.
brother Tony. Okay.
Well, I'll rush through mine. Look,
You don't need
because-
to rush.
Well, no, I mean, mainly it's constituent work, answering emails, sending people in the right directions and sort of telling them exactly what I can and cannot do. I have been having good discussions about certain red crosses that are on roundabouts,
the roundabout.
which, again, I'm perfectly happy with. But unfortunately, the one that had a big discussion was painted red and green, which, again, you know, I took offence to, but I don't live in Exwick, and it's a touchy subject, like I said, and it did get a lot of response.
Would you say you're a patriot?
Yeah.
I am a patriot, yes.
Yeah, just the individual who wrote something, and I think
certain
he really
individuals sort of tried to hint that I wasn't. I have no problem with people painting
Well,
crosses on roundabouts.
I tell
but
you how much we love the British flag. James, what's on your lapel there? Okay. Right.
my
Yeah.
little flag there.
So so that says it all, right? Okay, Tony. What
well,
else? Have you
I mean, one of
done?
the most important things to me, which it was an eye opener, was the lack of equipment for disabilities in the gyms. So I'm on the case of that with somebody who's is close to his heart. I'll call him Jeff because that is his name. So we're sort of trying to find out if something can resolve itself.
Was that a joke?
Well, no, he's called Jeff. Yeah. I was going to disguise his
didn't
name,
get
but
the
I thought, no,
punchline, but
there's
anyway.
not that many Jeffs around, is there?
Thanks.
So we're on the case there. I'm in correspondence with the person who's part of the leisure group in Exeter. I don't think she's too happy about me corresponding to her, but unfortunately, you know, that is my job, and that's why you voted me in
Thank
to
you,
be
Tony.
a pain. And also, I will add getting up early in the morning because I wanted to beat Neil for Weed of the Week.
Okay, well, stay tuned.
Stay tuned on that
James,
one.
give us a quick update on what you've been up to.
Well, over in Honiton, Sidmouth, as you may know already, we didn't get any councillors elected in Honiton, Sidmouth, but we did kick the Conservatives firmly into third place.
Yeah. very
And
good.
put on such a show that even the Liberal Democrats weren't sure of their victories in the area. In fact, our closest area, we were only 27 votes shy of winning the seat,
Wow.
which basically means
Very
the area
close.
next
Yeah,
time, without
yeah.
the Conservatives, there is going to go to us.
Congratulations.
But we've been doing a few things over our way because we believe that we don't have to be elected in order to try and help our communities. So we've got a few cases bubbling away in the background, which I won't go into sort of mass amounts of detail on.
Thank you.
The main things that we've had is we've continued that sort of soft campaign in the background. Hopefully, I'll have an article going out in the next week or two about parliamentary expenses, and we're holding an open evening surgery in the parish of Up Ottery, where we hope to put the local Lib Dem to shame by having a higher attendance, as we've actually invited every household in the constituency. In the parish to come down. So it's about
That's
350.
excellent. Thank you very
350
much.
households.
So we're going to give you a little bit of news updates, interesting news, because we're not all about St. Thomas. We do live in this great country, right? And one of the interesting things that we read about in the news this week was the fact that my great President Trump is making some great strides to try to get peace in Ukraine and Israel and everywhere else in the world. And in Ukraine, he's quite rightly tried to enlist, the help of the EU and Great Britain. However, they say, "Oh, could you do what you always do, provide troops in Ukraine?" He says, "No, thank you this time." And so everybody's scratching their heads because they don't have the troops because basically they've cut back the military. So there's a lot of head scratching going on, but I'm hopeful that peace will break out soon over there.
Yeah,
okay.
but go into that.
Yeah,
as a military man, there will never be British troops on that ground. Putin will not allow it.
Yeah.
All right. That's my word. All right. The reason is NATO's too close to him. He does not want it.
And you know what, Neil?
And they can't even defend our own borders, can we? So why are we defending?
I knew you were going to say that.
Sorry.
But well, another thing is, can you imagine what happens if we have, a battalion, British battalion, whatever it is, in the army? I'm not in the army. I wasn't in the army, guys, but it's sent to Ukraine on the front line there, and then a couple guys get killed. They come back in coffins. You know what? That isn't going to happen.
Yeah, but then if you look at it,
so-
don't quote my figures, 75,000 British soldiers, most of them are either officers, mechanics,
Yeah.
support staff. So realistically,
Chefs.
we've got about 20,000 fighting men.
Yeah.
All right, so if we send 10,000 over there, we're even weaker
Yeah.
again. I know we're not on that
Yeah.
subject.
They need you guys back, don't they?
I'm
Huh?
too old for that now.
Okay, so some developments in our migration strategy or illegal migration strategy. Our party leadership has been in the news this week, and they said that our strategy is to hit a number of facets. One of which is to leave the ECHR, which we've said all along. But also one key aspect is to deport illegal immigrants. And that's what's happening in America, and that's what's going to happen here if reform gets into power. Because we can't have illegal people here illegal in the country, right?
Yeah, well, we're an island, and if it carries on,
Yeah.
Where's
you
it
can't
going?
have a
Well, I just
hotel
think
room.
the whole dynamics, the whole structure is being changed in this country. But at the end of the day, something's got to stop.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough houses, there's not enough hospitals, there's not enough medical facilities, there's not enough anything. And you put too many without the infrastructure, it's naturally going to
Yeah.
tip.
That hotel at the airport was built for passengers, I assume, but nobody can stay there because it's block booked for the next ad infinitum, right? And in fact, that was in the news, at least the local news this week, wasn't it? One of the interesting attendees at one of the protests was a conservative councillor. Now that's interesting. The conservative councillor is protesting against illegal immigrants. Well, where were they for the 14 years that they were in power, right, Tony?
yeah, I can go against that and say I agree that she has the right to protest. I wouldn't have worn my lanyard to say that I was part of Exeter City Council, but good for her for standing up and doing it. It's she's standing up for her principles. There.
What do you think,
Hopefully,
James?
it's not vote grabbing.
What do I think?
Yeah, about that protest.
If I'm completely honest, I don't give
yeah.
a damn what the
Yeah.
Conservatives do. They didn't do anything for 14 years.
Yeah.
If they want to try and throw themselves under the bus by doing something silly now, then that's their prerogative.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm wondering if she's going to defect over reform, James.
I
Who knows?
might change my
Maybe
opinion
she'll
on
move
It
that.
might change your mind then, yeah.
Maybe she'll move to Honiton, right? Anyway, so more and more politicians are defecting to reform. We've got some slide issue, guys.
Yeah.
We
So, but the man's got to take it off. Just take the button off, so you got no screen. So as I said, we're TVing. We've got new guys in the seats here.
oh, there we go.
Right, it's top right corner, 2 in, 1 down. Thank you. Yeah.
It's great to
You
see
did
your
that
pretty
without
face,
even
Neil.
looking. Look.
Thank you very much.
I've been spent days and days on this system now.
Anyway, so Scotland has their first Reform MP up there, Graham Simpson, apparently, and he's quoted to say he's going to create something new, exciting, and lasting, just like you guys are.
Yeah,
right?
well, hopefully he won't be the first to walk
Is that,
across the
James,
floor.
what you're saying in your branch?
I don't hold any massive amounts of ill will towards those that are coming across at the moment, despite the fact that they've been quiet for X amount of time. I can understand why a lot of people believe that Conservatives were the only option for so long, given the fact that they're one of the oldest and most successful political party in the world. Well, less so now anyway. But they have been gagged effectively by their parties for this long. People haven't been able to express how they actually feel, and Reform for the most part is presenting a change to that.
Yes.
I mean, as both the sort of councillors here have already mentioned, there are times when they have disagreed with possibly the party line as well as each other and other councillors, because we are all individuals, but we all have a common belief and set of values.
Yeah. I think we're going to see more and more defections. Don't you think, Neil?
Yeah, as long as they're defecting for the right reason. I don't want it because they want to keep a job. To me, we're here. We're newbies. All right, we're not career. We're newbies. And when people flip sides, I do question it. All right, as long as they realise what Reform is for. Reform is here to change this country.
Yeah. Well, I can shed a little bit of light on that. I mean, I'm on a Zoom every Saturday morning with my friends from Ascot, which is where I used to live, and a lot of them are conservative, and they're disheartened. They don't know what to do, and that's why I think people are leaving the
across to
party
Reform.
because their parties abandoned them, basically, hasn't it? Right. So as a result of that, if we could show the next slide, basically where we're leading in the polls right now, and a little piece of trivia, Tony. But if you go on the map, which comes up in social media a lot of Great Britain and all the different parliamentary constituencies, Exeter has been Reform for about 6 to 8 weeks. So they're projecting a Reform MP win.
Yeah, I think we're jumping. It's fantastic news, but I think obviously we want to focus more on next year's local elections and then focus on that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say something. I'm sorry I have to say this. Going back to the Lib Dems, their manifesto said, can you remember what it said?
No, what, Swift boxes? Or is it
No, not
No,
Swift
I think it
boxes.
was about proportional representation. wasn't it?
Proportional representation. Does anybody know what that means? Because I do, and I'm sure everybody does.
Well, it means everybody has a vote.
No, right.
according
So
to
they've
the
got
vote
all
Down
the
on the
seats
percentages.
minus one. 10 on the cabinet.
Yeah.
All right. Lib Dems are scared now. It's not the Conservatives. Every time they do something, it get rid of the Reform is coming. Labour, it's all about reform. So every time they put a brochure out or they put some very nasty letters on to their people saying that reform is the threat, reform is right wing.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming.
I'll tell you what.
Reform is here. But let's get this right. They are basically 18 or 17 now. 17 councillors represent Devon. Right? We have no seats on that cabinet. So that really annoys me. So every time they make a mistake, can't use wrong words. James?
I'd like to add to that, because over in East Devon, we actually got the popular vote Reform and got 2 councillors. And
Explain that a little bit. That doesn't, the maths don't make sense.
so
does it?
because of a mixture of MPs and still, not MPs, independents and the popularity of the Conservatives still, who this time split the vote, the Conservatives.
I gotcha.
So it was obviously Helen down in Exmouth and Nathaniel Vanstone, the only 2 councillors that we've got in East Devon. But statistically, we had more votes than any other party in East Devon.
I didn't know that.
No, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
But
So,
we don't have a say at the table.
No.
Yeah, well, you know what, Neil,
And I
I
think it was the
guarantee
same
you
in West Devon as well, actually.
not to be cheeky about it or flippant about it, but you will have a say, sir, because I know James is now married. He's going to get his house out of the way. He's got the branch formed, and he's going to be all over the county, right?
Calm down.
Loves it.
Okay.
He's got a new toy here.
I don't know how you fit all these people in this room.
It's a secret bunker. It's not a room. Secret bunker.
So this week, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about our topic, which is out of control spending. And it's not only out of control spending at the national level, but it's out of control spending at the county level, and in our case, the city level as well. I mean, the odd thing about it is that the government can run at these huge deficits. I think 148 billion the government's going to borrow this year, but I've got to balance my budget at home, right? How do you manage, Tony?
Quite easily, actually, but
Yeah.
then, that's just me. I'm very tight with my
I
money.
like your shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm very tight with my
must be
money.
very expensive.
Yeah, I don't know which charity shop I bought it in. Yeah, I'm like everybody else, I mean, I do find it easier now because obviously all my children have moved out. So I do find I've got more money than I had when they were in. So the hour-long showers don't happen anymore. Yeah, I don't understand how they can borrow all this money and how they think they're ever going to pay it back in their term time.
My gosh.
Yeah, Doug, can we just take the picture off again? There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, we are a little bit new equipment.
Just Doug likes
We
pressing
can always
buttons.
just pull the plug on the slides. 'Cause,
He just likes pressing buttons.
I like seeing you guys anyway. So, but just a little facts and figures. If you guys want to chime in, guys. But like I say, remember last year there was this 22 billion pound black hole.
22 or
something like
24, one of them, because it
Really?
gets changed, doesn't it?
that? Yeah.
What's a few billion, eh?
Anyway, what they didn't tell you, what Labor didn't tell you was there were every year, at least recently, we've borrowed 148 billion. So they didn't mention anything about the 148 billion. So
I must have forgotten.
I think it's the highest loan or what we've since 75 years. Is that right, James?
I think it's ever.
Ever.
I think it might be even more than that.
Oh, Christ.
it's,
I know that it's projected to increase to something like our deficit's supposed to increase to like 200 and something
probably
percent
since World
by
War II, I
2070.
think, wasn't it, Neil? Because World War II, you had a lot of
Yeah, we had to
lot of debt,
pay back
right?
and all that, but
Yeah.
but it's
America
the
had
worst
to-
ever. And
had to loan you some money.
My mother always say, as soon as Labour get into power, they will spend your money.
Yeah.
All right.
So our national debt is 2.68 million.
Trillion.
Trillion.
Oh, yeah, you've got...
Billion?
Well, it can't be trillion.
It's trillion.
It is trillion.
Yes.
Can't be
No,
tri-
it's trillion.
It is
It's
trillion.
trillion
Surely.
pounds. It's not dollars. Also, it's pounds, which is even worse.
Well, that's surprising.
It's 98% of the GDP. So in other words, GDP is basically the total amount of goods and services, that is produced in the entire country for the year. So in other words, guys, whatever you do for the next year, whatever the country does for the next year, you might as well just sign it all over the government because that way they can pay off the debt. Okay, is that good?
Probably
If you
won't do that, will they?
if you ever get a chance to go online, you can type in Britain's debt clock live, and it will show you how quickly it's going up, and it's going up at a rate of about £5,000 a second.
Oh my gosh, how are we going to cope? Yeah, no, I did a little research, but our local MP Steve Race, he has a track record of voting 100% for the Labor government. And so, he's part of the problem, not part of the solution, it seems like to me. Any comments on that, guys?
Well, I've never met Steve Race, but I know that he feels that we're the threat. All right, so reform, I mean.
Yeah, but to be honest, you won't meet him, will you? Because he lives in London.
Oh, he's London. He was parachuted in. I think everybody knows that anyway.
Yeah. So,
Right,
we won't meet him anyway.
So he was parachuted to be Ben Bradshaw, brilliant MP, but I think he was a sidekick for Ben Bradshaw.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and
He doesn't even live here. You know
No.
I think he's rented a flat somewhere here,
that?
but
Yes,
I wouldn't know
exactly.
where.
One
Just-
bedroom flat or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
You see, that,
anyway,
that in itself is just a needless expenditure.
yeah,
Well, you can claim that back, can he?
yeah,
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah. So there was enough out of his pocket, is it?
yeah.
All right, but
And he can claim the council tax.
sorry,
And he can claim the council tax as well
we can claim that as well.
out of his
Well,
parliamentary
there we go.
expenses.
Right. Yeah. Well, the more you dig into what
I
people can
want to
claim
be an
for.
MP now. I've changed my mind.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 2.68 trillion. That's a lot of money, and we need people in Parliament that will not check all the woke boxes and try to pass the Swift box bill the first time they get into the Devon County Council. We need people to actually say no, to spending. Unfortunately, or if they're going to say we want to spend some money, they say, well, we're going to have to increase your taxes. Be transparent about it, right?
Well, they've increased your bills today, gas, electricity, and I think that's because we're trying to go green. Am I correct? First of all, they blame Ukraine and Russia. I think we only take 3% gas from Europe, but because we're tied into it by contracts.
Yeah.
And by the way, Keir Starmer is now moving us back to the EU, and I don't care what anybody says.
Why do you say that?
Well,
he's doing it by the back door.
They've added the 10-year fishery or even longer. They're now signing deals with the EU. All right, whatever you tell me, he is making out his way back to the EU. That's
well, I
my
wouldn't
view.
doubt it. Now let's talk about the county council, because that's why you have a gripe, because you really need to get in there and change things, but you don't have the vote, right?
We don't have the vote. They say, Tony, you're correct. They said to you when you were at training day the other day, what did they say? Don't go looking for any money.
Well,
because you
yeah,
can't.
we got told, don't go looking for any places where you can save money, because there isn't any. But there is. And we will sort of start raising these issues where you can save money.
Yeah, but we have no say, because even though we're the second biggest party, James, you know.
You think we should?
What's your view on that?
Well, I mean, did we expect anything less at the end of the
Well, we were.
Yeah, I did.
I was going to say we were both
I
quite
think you watched a
surprised.
different media to me.
We thought they'd at least relent and give us one seat, but
No,
obviously they all think alike, and you know.
I've heard things in the background that they are considering working with us a bit more, but how true that ends up being, I suppose, depends on them. I know that they're not finding the Greens particularly helpful.
Through the discussion we did yesterday with some of our other Reform County councillors, there are people in our group, county councillors, who specialise in certain subjects, and they would be ideal for cabinet members.
Yeah, no, one not necessarily cabinet member, for a chair for something which I won't go into. The Lib Dem asked her for advice. She gave her all the advice, gave her all the answers to all the possible questions, because she is the expert. Lib Dem sent like an official letter back after the meeting, say, yeah, thanks, we don't need you, but thanks you for the little information.
Yeah.
So she was quite put out last night, because she is the expert. All right, and I'd say what's black and white. This woman who sits on this as a chair
Knows
is not
nothing
an expert.
about it. She's just placed there.
Yeah, just play it.
Do you know how much? Do you know how much money the council owes? How much it is borrowed?
Well, I know all this, and I think we've said
Yeah.
this before. James,
Should we
you know
ask
about
James?
it?
James is the
I don't
numbers
actually know
man.
what the figure is currently.
Right, it all started, I think, in 2009, where Lib Dems wanted to borrow some money, where they go and borrow the money. Right, and I know this fact. Right, they didn't read the small print of the contract. They lent, I think, 400 million or something, but on the contract it said you cannot repay it over until a certain time. One of it was 25 years, I think one's 40, but you only pay the interest.
Oh,
All right, but I know they're bringing some down, but the interest is horrendous.
yeah.
But I
because,
think we've covered that before.
we have, but it's worth remembering, because I just was thinking about something. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure this out. I just wrote down some notes here. 508 million that the council actually owes, or borrows, and the interest is 25.5 million. Now, okay, what's 25 into 50? Or that's 5%. Basically, it's 5%. In other words, they're paying
Right.
5%. That's ridiculous. The gilt rate must be. It's got to be.
I mean,
like-
that's a lot of council tax,
That's,
obviously. It's going on that when it could be going on other services.
I mean, eventually it's got to be paid off. So
What's your council tax, James, in your area? Is it?
Well, I live next to a railway, so my council tax is quite cheap. I think it's £146 a month.
Is that challenging, living next to a railway? Is it a busy railway?
You forget it's there.
Okay. I'm okay, because I wear hearing aids, so I just pull it out. Wife love it. Well, I love it, even though I'm married. I can't really hear what she says in the morning or in the evenings.
now, you guys who are highfalutin branch managers and councillors will know more about this than I do. Apparently, the council spends 169 million pounds a year in send, and it's out of control. I guess
it's not so much out of control. I think what gets our goat is the transport. There are a lot, and 99% of the cases are as genuine as they come, but there's a lot of fraud in it as well. And
Well, let's be careful what we say.
we
there.
have to be careful here. Yeah.
So, right. So I'm on the children's transport. So the system is being abused, and I've already said this. 22.5 million before the lockdown. Now it's 52.7 million, and I reckon we're going to spend over
but same
900,000
amount of children.
for travelling taxis, all right, from the A to B. Now, the children I've got no issues with. If there's a criteria, if you live a certain distance away from the school, okay, you're entitled to it. That's the law. I think the law needs to change personally. Right, my view is my children went to school. I had to get up every day and I had to drop them. I had to change my lifestyle to drop my children to school. Can't suit everybody. People in the farms and out in the countryside totally agree. Right, but my main issue is the taxi people, the people who are abusing the system. Right, it should be more coordinated. All right, to me, the system is being abused from 22.5 to 52.7 million. And we're going to overspend.
That's outrageous, yeah.
Well, it needs to be overhauled and investigated.
Well, it needs to be investigated. And not all of them children need that transport.
We need a little more scrutiny. I mean, it's sort of
Well, it
similar.
should be checked every year or every 2 years.
Yeah. It's sort of similar to the PIP. It's a good concept, and there are most people are really in need, but there are people that
it's just getting abused.
Well, I think we're on a touchy
children
subject
Yeah.
here.
Because, well, I mean,
what
there
is
are
the number
people
of
that
children?
PIP has gone up, and I've always said that after the
yeah.
lockdown.
I think Neil would have to tell you that.
What's
one.
that?
What is the number of children that are being taxed?
speaking of
Right,
your
there's
microphone, Dan,
15,000 children and I think 3,000 carers. That has not changed since lockdown. So let's not look at the children. Let's look at the people. Put your mic to your mouth. Yeah. All right, we are learning. So I'm direct. Yeah, 15,000. The children hasn't changed. Now, the Devon County Council, I got to give them credit. That's 15,000 plus 3,000 carers a day has to be moved around. Right, and that is logistic nightmare. Okay, but what I'm looking at operators, as in taxis, doing this, hanging around, £120 a journey, a day to pick them up. It's a lot of money being spent out. So I think that system can be overhauled.
It all needs to be looked at, Neil. I mean, there are people that I know. I'm not proud of it, but they have fancy cars, and one person even has a sailboat. It's on PIP. That's ridiculous.
We're talking about transport. Then you flip to PIP.
Yeah.
PIP is
Well,
personal independent
in
payment.
other words, these are payments the government makes, and it's our money.
It was totally going to be looked at. Everything was going to be looked at, and then Labour voted against it, didn't
Yeah.
it? If you remember quite recently.
Well, I mean, I don't know what it is at a local level, but at a national level, last year, well, between 24 and 25, there was over 8.4 billion wasted in benefit fraud and errors.
How much is that?
And how much was
8.4
repaid?
billion. That is what it was after. That's
After
basically
the-
what's
yeah.
not been repaid and what's not been able to be claimed back.
8.4 billion.
They only managed to, so it was something like 9.6, and they only managed to claim back 1 point something.
Oh my gosh. Now let's talk about Exeter City Council, shall we? Because
Well, yeah, sore subject with me. I'm still after the chairman of planning to return my letter, and that heat source pump. That is money going.
yeah,
I know they're not responsible for it, but going back to wasting money, that is a lot of money. And I'm sure there's people out there can justify to me that the heat source pump is well worth it. Please send in a message to me. Tell me how you justify it, because I will defend that it's wrong.
Yeah. Well, maybe James will correct my maths here, but apparently the council owes £166 million, and in the city we have about 40,000 taxpayers, and the math works out to £4,000 per person. So in other words, don't go away, please, guys. Otherwise, it'll go up to £5,000 a person, and 6 or 7. Basically,
But surely with all these extra builds and all these extra
extra housing.
housing, that means the council tax should produce more revenue.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
Am I
they
correct?
if they don't build the jobs to go along with them, then you're going to end up with more unemployment.
the
Yeah.
spending is built
Which
right
is-
into the
Yeah,
model.
more unemployment and more PIP,
Yeah.
because if they're on PIP, they don't have
Yeah.
to sign on.
Well, there are a couple big facets to that chunk of £166 million, but I wasn't here when this sort of concept arose, where the council thought that they would be able to replace the private sector expertise, people like James. Were you a quantity surveyor or something like that? What are you?
Just a property surveyor. So,
Just a property surveyor. Just. Anyway, anyway, they made an investment in this company called, they formed a company, Exeter City.
Yeah, I mean, they formed a company.
And then
obviously
they
thinking
it
it'd
went
be nice.
bankrupt or something, and now they owe £110 million out of it, or they lost the investment.
Actually,
I don't know.
I know
Is
the
that right?
person who actually started the company, and she's very clever, and it would have worked. But some individuals, I've got to be careful what I say here, didn't like the way she managed it or whatever. And in the end, she just moved on, and she went, and I wish her luck. She's a really lovely lady, very clever lady. All right. And these two other people took over, and then it went into administration. So that's a fact.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, just digress a little bit. In my career in healthcare, a lot of people were against PFI. And so I finished a project at
PFI?
PFI, Private Finance Initiative. So that's where the government goes to a private private company basically and says, build a hospital. And they say, okay, we'll build and operate it for 25 years. And the company charges money every year to maintain it, and they're normally very well maintained. Well, I just finished a 5-year project. I won't mention where, but look on my LinkedIn if you guys are interested. But so the trust thought they'd do it themselves. Anyway, so they had over £100 million claim on that project I worked on. So whereas if it would have gone PFI, they wouldn't have had a claim. So it's always easy for the government to say, oh, we can do what they do, but it's not so simple after all. The Exeter Science Park, do you all know about that? Evidently, the city made an investment in that, and they lost £7 million there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of councils invested in the parks and retail units.
Also the car. What was the car share? Was it the car share?
Car share was another one that was.
Co.uk?
I don't know.
I think now they're looking at changing them now. I had an email. Would I object that they turn them into electrical points? Well, I'm not going to object because that's what they're trying to do. Because right now they're sat there doing nothing anyway.
Well, I think what concerns me about it is that all the spending is that it's out of control, first of all, but more importantly, there are local impacts. We're not able to use the airport at the hotel, at the Exeter airport, If you go down Central Exeter, you see homeless people out in the streets, they should be cared for. But, we don't seem to
do you have much
the money.
Homeless, James, in your area?
No, not really. From what I understand, most people from around the sort of countryside end up coming into Exeter, mainly for the sort of limited support that they receive here compared to the country, because there's more facility here.
Right. Yeah. So
Although we did have one gentleman that lived in the back lane for many years, but he's been, I believe, he's gone into some sort of care now. But everybody in the community knew who he was, and he actually chose to live where he was. So.
Well, I've known a few people who have chose to live that way of life, and I respect the way they want to live. It's up to them.
Yeah. You remember that conversation we had, guys, a couple nights ago, where somebody said that she has links into some local law firms, and apparently there's at least in the past couple years, recently, the amount of businesses filing for bankruptcy is just skyrocketed. You remember that conversation?
Yeah,
I remember that one. Yeah, it was quite shocking.
Yeah.
But
everything's going up, business tax.
You can understand why. I mean, the government don't seem to like businesses, don't seem to like people sort of making a success of themselves either.
Yeah.
Well, they're after your money, aren't they? Socialists.
Well, what's the latest one?
Labour socialist.
If you're a landlord, they're considering sort of putting national insurance on any money that you earn. Well, I mean,
if I'm correct, what I've been told, they can put your national insurance on your unearned income, which you still get taxed on, but you can deduct that off your tax bill, if I'm correct. Right, you can put it as a loss or expenditure.
They've obviously
so they're not going to pull in much money.
They obviously think they can make $2 billion out of it. Somebody's done the figures.
Yeah. So
whether I'm right or wrong, say you earn £100 and then you pay your national insurance. Well, that's deducted off what you pay your tax on, because you can't pay double tax. That makes sense on that?
So
if it's £100, you pay £25.
Something you've got to look into.
You only pay tax on your £75.
Let's just
carry on.
Let's just go back to the basics here and what we're here to do.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share with you what reform policy is. Or what we're running on is we're running on to reduce the taxes, and we hope that will stimulate businesses to create jobs. We're reducing. We want to reduce the spending because it's out of control, and hopefully that'll occur. And for example, even with all the spending for the NHS, there's 7.4 million cases as a backlog. Things are getting worse, not better.
But didn't they inject a lot of money into the NHS recently? Am I wrong?
Every year.
I mean, they're always
I mean, they're always chucking. To be honest,
when
it's
we
a
do
black
Weed of
hole,
the Week,
isn't it?
we've just got a little story to tell with it.
Okay, we'll do, yeah. And the last thing, which I think is most important, is we want to turn business loose to create those jobs so people can be more wealthy. You know, why do we have Facebook and Google in San Francisco, Silicon Valley? It should be here, right? So anyway, that's a little bit of reform.
Well, we need
propaganda.
loads of entrepreneurs, don't we?
Well,
Yeah.
we could mention how much we are planning on raising the tax thresholds to. So we'd be increasing the lower tax threshold to 20,000, which give people an extra £123
Thank
a
you.
month in their pocket, and the upper threshold, which I think currently sits at 50,000, we'd be increasing that
Yes,
to 70,000
Yeah,
because.
it's
I
been
mean,
frozen, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, to give you an idea, when the thresholds really started back in 2010, I think it was, or something, somewhere around then, might have been a bit after that, the tax-free threshold was £10,000, and minimum wage was around about £6.25, if I remember off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, minimum wage has nearly doubled since then, but the tax-free threshold's only gone up by 2,570.
Yes, yeah.
So in real terms, you're paying more tax now than you were
Yeah.
10 years ago or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Even.
I mean, everybody's going to be in the 40% tax bracket the way we're going because of inflation, you know? So,
Well, yeah, but that's Rachel Reeves. And
yeah.
did she buy a third home, or did I read that somewhere else?
No, that
I
was
think she
Angela
has
Rayner,
bought
I
another
think.
home.
Oh, no,
Oh,
it's
Angela Rayner.
Angela Rayner.
Angela Rayner was off the beach at my
Who did
favorite-
I say then?
Rachel
Rachel
Reeves.
Reeves.
Oh, apologies, Rachel
Yeah.
Reeves. Angela
She was,
Rayner.
she was in her little kayak vaping and stuff.
Rachel from a couch.
Okay, anyway, guys, we got to move on here because we got to get to Weed Week, of course. But
Oh, yeah.
can we just review some of the and thank the members of our audience for their questions and comments.
Calm down.
Awesome. And Julian, you're a great contributor. I know you commented last week, and I'm going to quote you here. Thank you very much, but because it's public knowledge anyway. I work in the dental industry, and the only people really getting NHS benefits are people on benefits and migrants. Well, almost true, but it is a problem getting dental appointments. Thanks to another one who said, the volume is too flippin' low. You can't hear us.
Well, hopefully that's
hopefully-
been sorted
I think
now.
we've sorted that. It might be too loud now. We don't know.
And the third thing was I really enjoyed the banter that was on, a little bit of an argument going on with some people or something like that, but maybe discussion about somebody saying, hey, why don't you check out the socialist utopia that you love by going to countries like East Germany. Anyway, we're having a bit of fun here. But, and another one said, the final one said, great podcast. I'm wagering 20 quid that someone in Exwick and St. Thomas's constituency is going to get the Weed of the Week.
Well,
So with that, Tony,
thanks for one of my children for saying
Over
that,
to you.
because that's 20 quid for him. All right, because obviously he had inside information. Yes, somebody did send me a picture, which I did show Neil, and I don't know if the picture can come up, but there was just no competition on this one. It was unbelievable. I think I don't know if he's going for a load there. Well, it's not going to come up, but let's just say it wasn't that one. Well, it might have been that
that's
one.
fine. It's perfect.
Well, let's just say that was the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we have got a picture somewhere of me giving this person the award, which I've never done before, and I must admit it was a great honour. If the picture did come up, to be honest, we'll call her.
Doug, have you got the picture?
Have you got the picture? No.
Did I put it up? Oh, my
Oh,
apologies.
dear. Well, that's it.
But-
Good, because all you're going to get is a pair of hands.
Until
and me.
Doug comes up with a picture, guys, let's just tell everybody what we're going to be putting the afterburners in to address the weed issue. For example, I know that there was a trial that was supposed to be accomplished by the council We want to find out what happened to the trial. We want to explore the alternatives because the weeds are just out of control. Neil,
See, I wasn't here last week. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
know
going
what
back
trial
to the
was
lady,
about.
what was she called, Tony?
She was called Gail. We'll say Gail.
Right, Gail, she didn't want a picture, and the reason is, and my heart goes out to you, Gail. In fact, there's a picture.
Oh, there you are.
Gail.
Look.
that's not Gail.
Sorry about that. I
Right, so
wasn't very
Gail's
dressed.
hands are there. Sadly, she didn't want a picture, so we respect her on that. But congratulations, Gail. You were lovely to talk to, and I'm going to arrange to come up and
Mind
speak
you,
to you.
looking at the state of me, I'm not surprised she didn't want a picture. So, yeah, I didn't make much effort on that one.
But Gail, I'll take you up for the cup of tea which you offered, and we're going to talk about the NHS, which I did say I mentioned. This lady has been messed around from
And you
pillar
might
to
find
post.
she'll be a future guest as well.
Yeah, future
Yeah.
guests, and that's an invitation to anybody. Anybody wants to come on, because we're on one side here, and I'm sure there's people who want to discuss things.
Yeah, I mean, anything that contradicts what we say, we are quite open.
Can I just add to that, guys? Now, I'll give you a challenge, Tony. Neil's Weed of the Week winner last week, Tina Walker, has agreed to come on. Believe
Yep.
she's going to come on.
Yeah,
this
so I'm
coming
going to
week.
ring Tina tonight. Tina Walker, we want you on. As long as you don't swear too much, the floor's open.
I
to
don't
you.
think Doug's quite got the swear thing.
James,
right
do you want
yet,
to?
so.
Anybody in your area want to do Weed of the Week?
I mean, if it's open to our area, I'll,
We can open it up.
we can. So that's going to run for a couple more weeks with environmental friendly weed killer from now on.
We just want to raise awareness about it because it's a big problem, and we're going to be doing something about it, not just talking about it. And everybody should be really raising ruckus about the weeds around this
Well,
place.
remember what I said. There's a motion going through on the 4th. The 4th at Devon County Council. I think public can go into their meetings, but the motion is to find funding in order to tackle the obstacles, the weeds, because these weeds, are stopping wheelchairs, even push bikes, people walking along the pavements, trip hazards, you name it. All right, that's what we're trying to stop.
Well, I know people have been, I don't know if it's our fault or not, but people have been really,
I must admit, I have
Really?
noticed quite a few people's houses weed free.
well, yeah, weed free because one of the guys got a blowtorch out to try to get rid of the weeds.
Yeah.
Oh,
nearly
he nearly
burnt-
burnt down.
Burnt the shop down.
Nearly burnt the shop down in Alphington, which
Anyway.
is a bit too keen. But
No, but we're going to meet him, and this man is very, very proactive.
that's if the police let him go, of course.
No, it was an accident, and he's he's very proactive. So.
Anyway, Gail, congratulations again. And
Yeah.
Tina, hopefully we look forward to seeing you next week on the show. I wonder who's going to win next week.
I think James, you'd be
Well,
digging
now-
a tree
well,
up.
now
I
I know
think
that.
James will be looking now.
Okay.
Yeah,
thanks
just
very
before we end, remember why we do this. Can you just explain why we do this, Rob?
What,
This
the
podcast.
or- Okay. Well, we want to, a number of different reasons, really. Let's talk about that. We want to show you guys that we're committed to all the constituents, not only in Tony and Neil's area, but throughout Exeter. We want to spread the word that reform is a great force. We could just sit at home and not do these podcasts. It's expensive to do. We want to invite everybody onto the podcast. Every week we've had a new guest, right, Neil?
Yeah, we're inviting Paul soon. He's in Exeter Cycle. All right, so that'd be quite interesting.
Yeah. So did I
Cycle for
answer your
Exeter.
question properly?
Cycle for Exeter, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to get the word out and talk about some of these subjects to let you guys know that we do care about these subjects and to give you an update as to
Yeah,
what we
we're
are
not
doing.
there just to knock the. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to get someone else's opinion out there.
We just
Yeah.
don't want to send a flyer out every couple months like you've seen from some the other parties saying what we're going to do.
Yeah, we're looking at small businesses next. I've got 2 or 3 people lined up. James, if we want to just bring James back into it.
Yeah.
Want to thank you, James. Okay. And are you running for a councillor next time or not?
Well, I was supposed to run as a councillor this time, but I pulled out to build the branch. But next time we'll see what happens. There's
Thanks
there's a
very
lot
much.
of people.
They
that
are.
want me to
Look out for James.
do
If
more.
you live in the Honiton area.
He's got the shoes, he's got the British flag.
Got the looks. That's good enough.
So, guys,
isn't it?
just want to close by saying John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So join reform. And guys, we'll see you this time next